Hi, hello, it's Lena back with another video for you, and I want to dive into the topic of how to actually face a fear food. It's really not always as easy as just going out and ignoring all of your feelings and just like pushing through the fear and eating them. You're not really gaining so much out of that experience because you don't want to just use this to suppress your emotions around it. They're there for a reason. And so I'm here to give you a little bit of a more practical way to face your fear foods. In my work as an eating disorder recovery coach, I'm finding that this step-by-step process is really helpful, and you can just see where you're at and just take the steps from that point. You don't have to start at zero if you're not at that point anymore, but let's see what the steps are that you can take to conquer your fear foods. Step number one is super simple. You want to actually just imagine yourself eating this food. And so you're not even going to do it, you're not even going to make that a real possibility. You're just going to sit wherever you are and you're just going to imagine yourself in the situation with your fear food, and you're going to imagine eating that food. And now you want to pay really close attention to what kind of feelings that's bringing up inside of you, what kind of thoughts are flying through your head, because all of those are clues as to what the actual real problem is. Because the real problem isn't whatever food you're scared of eating. It's something that you associate with that food. And so you want to use this process to get familiar with what it is that you actually associate with that food. Now, once you've imagined yourself eating this fear food and you've faced all this like discomfort, you want to just give yourself permission to imagine the same scenario again, but this time you're in control of the outcome, and you're just going to choose what it would feel like if you were already at a point where this wasn't a fear food anymore. And so you imagine yourself eating this food with absolutely no fear, with absolutely no like negative association, and you just place that scenario in your head so that it can become a reality. Step number two is you want to just go somewhere where you can be around this food. So let's say you're really afraid of bread, and you could go to a bakery, or if that's even a little bit too much, you could go to like a grocery store where they sell bread, and you want to just like approach this food carefully and you just want to be in the proximity of the food so that you can feel like, oh my gosh, like how do I feel when this is actually one step closer to the reality of eating the food. And the same thing, you just pay really close attention to what is actually happening inside of you, what thoughts, emotions, feelings come up, and you just notice that, and that's it, and you go home. Step number three is that you actually go and buy that food item, in this case the bread. So you go to the store and you buy the bread and you bring it home. Then you pay really close attention to how does that feel for me? What kind of thoughts, feelings, and emotions does that bring up now that you're like one step closer to actually eating the food? And you just pay attention, that's all. And then you can give the food to somebody else. You can give it to your mom, your siblings, you can give it to your girlfriend or boyfriend or anybody, like a neighbor, like anyone who likes that food and who actually doesn't have a problem eating it. You can gift them that food. That's it. The next step is you go and you buy that food again and you bring it home, and this time you sit down with the intention of eating the food. But you can know in the back of your mind that you don't have to eat it. This is just you approaching this food and coming closer to actually eating it. So sit down with the intention of eating it. Same thing, what comes up, how do you feel, what are you thinking, and just sit with that and just start becoming comfortable with just sitting in front of that food, but knowing that you don't actually have to eat it. And then there's only one step left, and that is to just eat the food. And by this time, you should also be able to eat it. So you can play with these steps. This isn't like, oh, I take step 1 today and then I take step 2 tomorrow. You can repeat the steps for as long as you need to get comfortable. The point is to get comfortable with each step so that then you can take the next one. And that's it, guys. That's how you face a fear food. That's how you conquer a fear food. And that can take different amounts of time. If you feel bold, sure, you can speed up the process, but really what you don't want to do is to just blast through the fear without even addressing it, without even being conscious of it, without like sitting with that, you know? So don't just eat your fear foods and suppress the fear, but rather allow that to be there and to work with that. And that's it. I hope that you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments down below how you conquered your fear foods and if you find this helpful. If you did find it helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I'm going to put a link to my website down below in the description box because I have a couple really cool like free resources for you on there that you can check out if you're struggling with your eating disorder recovery. And I also offer one-on-one recovery coaching, so you can have a look at that also if you feel like you need a little more hands-on support. That's it. I'm out for now. Talk to you soon. Bye.